Hey, how's it going, everybody? Figured I would come back and show you guys a little introduction of what we have going on here. Trying to start up a channel and just see what kind of traction it gets. I don't really know what everybody's into, but we do quite a bit of work here. And, you know, all the time getting asked about, hey, why don't you start a YouTube channel or why don't you do that? And I've really put some thought into it. Not 100% on how it'll go yet. I don't know what everybody will be into, but just kind of want to, you know, set the basics. In other words, you got to start somewhere. And we do quite a bit of stuff around here. We actually we run dump trucks, you know, pretty much year round as well. We've got 3 or 4 trucks, and we stay pretty busy with that. But during the wintertime, we slow down a lot, so we stay busy in the shop, do a lot of frame off restorations and engine builds and build whole cars and chassis work. We do a little bit of everything, but, you know, don't ever, you know, plan to be a professional or say that we're professional in any means or aspect. So don't think that, you know what I mean? Just good old country people out here giving good advice and knowledge just like anybody else. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's the best knowledge. There's 1,000 different ways to do something the right way. You know what I mean? Just because somebody does it one way doesn't mean it's wrong. I understand that. I want to go ahead and get that straightforward now. So, I mean, everything that you see on the channel or what we get into doesn't mean that it's always going to be, you know, oh, you know, Billy Bob done it this way or Joe done it this way. You know what I mean? That's fine. You know, maybe that's okay too. But I like doing things the way I've always been taught, the way I've always done it, and it works well for me. That being said, you know, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's perfect. You know what I mean? But if it works for me, it'll work for you. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to just get into the basics about what we're going to get into. I wanted to kind of tell you, everybody, a little bit about myself and, you know, the way we operate. Kind of got a garage here at home in my fact, you know, the homestead where I grew up in. I was born and raised Sanford, North Carolina, my whole life, 28 years old. And this is all I've ever done besides the trucking and stuff. That's all I've ever done is turn wrenches since I was old enough to pick up a wrench. You know what I mean? That's just where it started at from the basics. I love what I do. I love driving trucks. I love diesels. I love, you know, GM, Mopar, Ford. It doesn't matter to me. I work on them all. We build them all. We'll do a little bit of everything on the channel. I just kind of wanted to tell you guys where our standpoint is, our basics, where we stand from, where we're starting out at. You know, from right now, we're at the bottom, and I would love to see things, you know, grow better. And I'd like to hear more out of you guys too, what you guys want to see. You know, we've got quite a few projects around here all the time. We've got a 97 Trans Am down there, or Firebird, as I should say. Mr. Pilson, he's a good customer of mine. We got a LT1 going together for it, which I'll show you guys a little bit later on. Building a stroker for it, 383 inches. You know, a set of ported factory heads and hydraulic roller. It's going to be a nice little street machine. It's a 6-speed car, so it'll be really fun. We got, that's my dad's actually Grand Prix there. We just got done building a small block Chevy for it. Him and my mom actually dated in one of those cars many, many years ago, and he found one, and the body was in good shape and all, but it had a knock-in 400 Pontiac in it. We switched it to a 350 small block Chevy and all, and that 95 pickup there, we just pulled the drivetrain out of it. It was a LS swap that I'd done for my dad years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago. Good running little setup in the truck. It run very, very well. But the customer that actually bought it decided that he wanted to do something a little different. So yeah, I'll tell you guys more about it once we get into that. Maybe that'll be a different video if we see this thing picks up and you guys like the content that we're creating. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll move into more projects. But it's actually going to get a 400 plus inch Thompson Motorsports long block and a 4L80 we're swapping into it. It's going to be a pretty rowdy little setup. It should be probably north of 500-600 wheel horsepower if I had to guess. It's going to be a nice little rowdy truck for sure. But we've got tons of projects going on. You see the whole back row back there. The blue truck up there, that's actually a good friend of mine. That's a 53 Ford. It's got a 6.0 LS in it with a T56 6-speed and my other little Fox body out there. It's all different colors, but I enjoy it too. It's just a little beater car, real fun little short block 302 stock bottom end. Just some bolt-ons, you know, heads, cam, fun little car to drive around. We mess with it, beat on it on the street, do burnouts. You know, there's going to be a little bit of everything on this channel. I mean, you're going to see some fun stuff 100%. We'll get more into it. I just kind of wanted to get into the basics of what we plan on doing and where we're going to start off at, you know what I'm saying? And kind of show you guys around the shop a little bit, let you know what's going on in here. Nothing crazy. It's just a 30 by 30 shop, you know, basic at home. Don't think we're working no big, huge garage or anything, but we've got a lift and it's dirty in here right now. We got an engine going together, got the heat on, you know, trying to stay warm. It's cold this time of year, but just kind of wanted to let you guys know where we're starting off at. I really enjoy helping people, and I intend to keep helping, and I want to a lot. You know, it's hard when you don't have all the time in the world and balance family life with everything you have at the shop. And I want to get more into it, and that's why I figured if I already call and we talk about it with people and friends all the time now, why not get into a YouTube channel and, you know, tell the world, you know, let's get into, maybe we can spread knowledge a little further, or, you know, help people out and more ways than one. You know, I've been on YouTube before to look at something I didn't know about, you know what I mean? And I see people that do it and they did a good job, you know, but I feel like sometimes they don't explain everything the best that it could be. And that's what I want to try to do, is see if we can get more in depth on what we're trying to do and, you know, push forward with that before we get into anything crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people ask questions. They have more questions. They don't slow down enough in the videos to understand like some people want to know, you know, or they might miss small things and that's a big thing to them, you know, or maybe they're using tools that they don't have, or, you know, there's a lot of different things we want to try to do. So that being said, I think there's lots of ways we can grow in aspects together, you know. So either way, I think this is something we're going to try to pursue. We're going to keep moving forward. And I think this is going to be our first introduction video and show you guys what we got going on. Maybe we'll do a little work on this LT1. Just got back from the machine shop. Got the short block back, the heads and all. It'll be about ready to put together and we'll go from there. So either way, guys, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Let's get on with it. All right, guys, we're getting back at it. Here's the LT1, fresh from the machine shop. Got the short block together. I did a magnificent job once again on all the machine work. Got the cam bearings. Got an eagle rotating assembly. And then we start putting this thing back together. Got all of our parts laid out. Got our heads fresh from the machine shop. Got us a Tick Performance camshaft, which Comp does a lot of grinding for those guys, but if I'm not mistaken, I think, here's the cam specs for you guys. There we go. 233, 239 at 50, 110 lobe separation. And it's the Hater Maker 2, I believe this is. But we got some ARP head bolts, fresh cloys, timing set. Let's see, oil pump, strainer tube, it remains sealed. Got our head gaskets, timing cover gaskets, oil pan set of Morel drop-in lifters, Tick Performance billet oil pump drive. I don't know if you guys used any of these on the LT1 stuff, but they work really, really well and well worth the money. That's the last thing you want to fail. It's one of the plastic oil pump drives. I don't know if you guys mess with LT1s a lot, but they're about like a L31 Vortec short block, you know, other than front timing cover. Water pump looks a little different, you know, if you've never seen one, but usually they'd have the OptiSpark drive on the front. But this one here, actually, we're going to do one of the Torque Head 24X conversions and switch it to LS 0411 PCM. And we're going to use a set of coil packs and all basically off of an LS. Essentially, it'll be coil on plug, just like an LS. All right, guys, stick the unboxing the camshaft. It's gonna be our very next thing we get in the engine. Short block is together now, fully. Man, that's a good looking camshaft. I've bought many of camshafts from different companies, and I will say, it's just, you never know. Never know what kind of camshaft you're gonna get. The Comp does a really good job most of the time with their cores. This thing is very beautiful. Everything looks good, and once again, there's the grind number on the end of that. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but or if it'll focus. Anywho, like I said, this is the Tick Hater Maker 2. I've used this camshaft many of different times in the small block Chevy Gen 1, Gen 2, LT1 stuff. It is a really good camshaft for a street car, you know what I mean? I've seen some of these camshafts, I mean, really perform well even in stock short blocks. But, I mean, I've seen some guys go actually pretty daggone fast. I mean, naturally aspirated. With this same camshaft, I've used them multiple different times. They sound very good. And like I said, this thing being a 383 already out the gate, make gobs more torque and make very good power and all. And this camshaft will be right up its alley. Like I said, once again, it is, let's see, 233, 239 at 50, the load separation's 110. So it's gonna have a good little rowdy sound. Like I said, it's not too big, not really aggressive, but it'll fit the bill for what we're doing. Next, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but a lot of times when you buy a brand new camshaft, when you buy a brand new camshaft, a lot of times they actually have, they oil them and all, so they don't have any issues with rust or anything like that, rust preventative. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of people pull these things right out of the box, lube it up, stick it in the engine. Okay, that's not a terrible thing, I guess, but a lot of times they actually have all of these particles, man, dust, cardboard, dust, all kinds of dirt and trash and stuff like that on them. Every time I get a brand new camshaft, first thing I like to do is get a can of brake clean and go ahead and rinse the camshaft off. I mean, there's different things you can use. My choice in the shop, I use brake clean, carburetor cleaner, brake cleaner, just any kind of solvent that'll break down grease, oil, stuff like that. You know what I mean? First thing we're going to do is douse this thing down, clean it really good. Make sure we can get all the stuff off of it. Give it a good rinse. Yeah, you can see the stuff running off of this thing now. It's got stuff everywhere on it. Let's go ahead and get this thing ready to stick in the block. Some people use, motor oil on these camshafts and all. I mean, it is hydraulic roller. There's a bunch of different things you can use on it. I get this stuff from the parts store. It works really good. This Ultra Slick, Permatex makes it. It seems to be pretty good though. And main reason I like to use assembly lubes on camshafts and certain valve train equipment and certain things, you don't know how long an engine's gonna sit before it gets ready to go in a vehicle or anything else. Luckily this engine here, I'm putting it in myself and all too, putting it together, so therefore it's not going to sit very long. But either way, just some extra reassurance and all, use a good thick assembly lube. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I usually try to prime all the engines that I do, prime the oil in them and stuff, just to make sure that there's no issues with the oiling system, anything of that sort, before it goes in the car. Because that's the last thing you want to do is put it in the car, get everything together. You spend all the time, especially in an F body. If you guys haven't seen already or heard about the car that this is going in, you probably expect anyway for it to be a 4th gen, which it is. It's a F body, LT1 based, 97 Trans Am. Those cars are not the funnest thing to pull the engine and pull them out and put them in. They're not terrible. If you got the right equipment and you've done it before, it's not bad. But that's the last thing you want to do is put all that stuff together on that car and then figure out when you get ready to fire it up that, boom, has no oil pressure or something's wrong. So let's make sure we get plenty of lube on everything. I usually like to set it in the first journal just like that. And I've already got it lubed up to the second journal. And I just kind of run my hand along the bottom side. Let's try to get some lube around every one of the camshaft journals. Make sure all of our cam lubes, everything's got just a good coat, and it doesn't have to be thick. It's just got to have some good lube on it to where we know everything. Mainly, like I said, it's nice to go ahead and lube up all your camshaft journals. This stuff is sticky too, buddy. It takes a lot. That next, like I said, let's just try to go ahead and go through this first cam bearing in the tunnel. Should be really easy when you're going down through there, just so you don't nick or scar one of the cam bearings with the gear, the lobes. Kind of get it to each one. I give it a little spin just to make sure everything's happy at home. Sometimes you'll know if you have a cam bearing out of sorts or an issue, you get ready to start putting them in, they get a little tight. You might not tell it when you're putting it in, but when you get ready to spin the cam, a lot of times you can tell if one's crooked or something. As you see, everything's going nice and easy on this one though, no issues. Sometimes you have to rotate it, you might feel like you're hitting a brick wall or something, but a lot of times it's just because the connecting rod itself is in the way of one of the lobes or something to the sort. It'll get to where it's trying to get past itself, I guess you would say. Especially with some extra stroke like this thing has. It's not a ton of stroke. I mean, stock stroke on one of these engines is 3,480. So therefore, when you go from that to 3,750 stroke, going 383 like this thing is, it definitely makes it a little more difficult sometimes trying to get the camshafts in them and different things, just because you have a lot of added stroke. So the rods and all are in different locations now. Trying to get it all the way up here to this last one. And a lot of times once I get it that far, I like to actually take a Phillips head screwdriver and just stick it right in the edge of one of the holes for the cam gear bolt. And then you can kind of use it as leverage to pry up so you can pick the end of the camshaft up, and then boom. Sometimes they'll fall right in like butter, and you see, man, the cam bearings on this thing are so nice. It spins so easy by hand, forward and back motion, got plenty of room. No cam bearings crooked or anything at all, looks great. What's going on, guys? Coming back at you with the LT1 series stuff. I was going to go ahead and install a timing set and all on it, and then I realized that I was missing something. The new water pump drive and the bearing and seal hasn't came in yet. Kind of a bummer, but that's all we're really waiting on. Once we get it, we can keep fully assembling the engine, get it going. We'll go from there on it and see how everything works out. But that being said, the next video we try to get into, we'll try to do the whole build series of the entire engine. We'll go ahead and get the whole engine together. I'll show you guys some tips, some little things that I know that you guys might not know, or maybe you guys can teach me something. Maybe, you know what I mean? There might be different ways that we could share knowledge together. But either way, there's plenty of other projects going on all at the same time. Got my 83 Monte Carlo in here now. It's got an LS swap, overdrive tranny and all, and we're waiting on the 9-inch for the rear of it. It's supposed to be in this week, by the weekend maybe, so on. But maybe we can do a video or write-up on it too, you know, putting a 9-inch in the G-body. We're going to skim the frame rails and all on it too, so we can fit a wider wheel and do some welding and fabricating too. So there's lots to come, plenty of things going on all the time, but kind of a bummer about the water pump drive on the LT1 deal. I was really excited about doing it, but we'll just get everything going, get it all together, and then we'll do our next video. We'll try to put everything in it together where you guys can see the whole thing. But I guess this is going to be the end of this one, guys. I really appreciate everything. Just know everything doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate you guys if you've watched this far, and just leave me a comment, you know, what you guys want to see, or you want to see a different car or one of the other builds we've got. There's plenty of stuff around here that we can be doing or recording some footage all the time. So if you guys want to see something else, let me know that you've seen already. If not, we'll introduce some different cars too that we ain't even seen but half of them around here. So I really appreciate everything. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.